The stringers, as I told you just a moment ago, the center stringer, you can glue it in when you set this on your eyeball. I said eyeball, which is completely okay. You can just leave it in there, or you can just lay it in there until you get it straightened up and then weight it like I showed you. There's a 1/2 inch spacing between the gear and this former that we're using for the stringers. You can use whatever one. We use a 6-inch scale. They're a 1/2 inch wide. We lay it in here. Then we lay our gear in here. The gears are drilled number 7, which is the correct drill hole size for 440, or I'm sorry, 1/4 Now, the process is the 1/2 inch space. The sweep on the gear goes to the front. That's on the back of the gear, goes to the front. We'll drill the first hole through, number 7 drill it through into the aluminum landing gear bracing. Go ahead and set the gear aside, tap this out 440. That same hole in the gear, drill it out 1/4 inch and put one of the 420 bolts in that we provide, one of the screws. Screw it down before you tighten it. Maintain your 1/2 inch spacing. Snug it up and drill the other 3 holes through number 7. Then you can unscrew this again. Drill the gear out, all of them, then a 1/4 inch. Tap these off 1/4 The gear's set until we're going to put the wheel pants on. You can put on, make sure it fits, but it's very difficult at this point to make a mistake on there. If you just 1/2 inch spacing, the rear of the gear sweeps to the front. Then you can glue this center stringer in. After that, we don't suggest putting them all in yet. After that, we'll want to install this wishbone. Point it or cut 2 different angles on it. One angle being this former, the other angle being this side. Glue it 3 places. You're going to glue it on the side, the former, and that longeron, the bottom longeron, passes right past it, makes a nice glue joint. Up here, we're going to have 3 glue surfaces also. It's going to be this second former. We sand it flat on the sides to bring it together for fitting it. So the other wishbone is a glue surface, the glue point, and then the center stringer. So we fit them, glue them in. Very simple, very strong piece of cross bracing that we've installed that really puts a lot of strength in it. Now, there are 2 braces that we install in this F1 that hold these motor beams apart. It's 1/4 inch material like all the stringers. We glue it to the bottom of the opening here and to the top of the opening here. It holds the beams apart, make them snug. Those are the only ones you really want to make snug on here. Those and the F2 ones also. There are 2 same positioning F2 that hold these motor beams apart. Now on the 1/8 inch formers, to keep the weight on, we put 1/8 inch in, so we're going to take a piece of that 1/4 inch material again and go, you can either put it up against the longerons. I personally put it under the longerons, top and bottom one side. That increases that thickness from 1/8 inch to 5/16 or thereabouts. So, extremely strong bracing at that point. Then you put your cross bracing in. Now you see the ladder effect, or the stair-step effect. The tops are point-to-point, alternating. The bottoms are point-to-point opposite the tops. Makes a cross. When you're building these or fitting these cross braces, make sure that they're not too loose. But more importantly, make sure that you're not forcing them into place, because very nice dragging fit, we call it a 2000 slip fit, is what you're after. If you have to pull them up in there where they're really tight, when you're putting these cross braces in here, you're still going to have this thing sitting on your straight line. The formers are still going to be in the straight line. Watch what happens to the straight line back in the back, the center line. As you force one of these up in here, you will bend that aircraft, that frame, you'll take it over up to an inch. It's easy to do. It doesn't take a lot of forcing, so pull them up into place. You'll find that bringing them up in the back first and then bringing them up in the front is different from starting them up in the front and pulling them up into the back. I believe it's easier to set them here and drag them up into the front. Back in the back here, where the tail wheel platform is, there is no cross bracing underneath here between the last two formers, 6 and 7. You've got this tail wheel platform that we've installed. It's a big piece of 1/4-inch ply. It puts a lot of structure back here. As you can see, the stringers, the way they end, the outside two, they're the longest up front, but they stop about where the tail wheel wire hole is. The next two in, the middle ones, they come back and make a box. We connect them with another piece of 1/4-inch stringer material. Back here, a lot of times, sometimes we sand it enough to where the tail wheel will clear this. Most of the time we take a small 3/16 round file and file a relief in here for the tail wheel to clear the rear of the fuselage. You don't want much load. You want a little load on it, but not much. This little clamp, little strap that comes with it, holds it in place. And we usually put it right where you see it. A piece of scrap wood. We build this platform for the center stringer, just to make it flow straight back. That's all we're after. Nice flowing lines. If you look at the front again, how these stringers are. Like I said, the outside ones are longest up front. They stop right here at the F1. Now, go ahead and install the stringers, cross bracing, just like I've shown you. Very easy to do. Then we'll have completed everything we can do on the bottom, and we'll pick it up off the bench at that time. What we want to do next, this one's got the turtle deck on it. I've got so many models around here, I've gone so far with them, and they all have turtle decks. So we'll put this on in a minute, but I want to show you something about setting up this stabilizer support. What we want to do, when we built this box up here and ensured our 4-degree offset or angles up here, what we were doing in essence was setting this tube up. It works very well. When you glue that phenolic in, you want to use epoxy and Cabosil, and between the S1 and the S2, we build it in there so it can't get out. Actually, we'll work that tube in and out a little bit to carry the epoxy into the plywood. What we want to do next, we're going to set this stab up. Now, whenever we do anything, it's just habit. We always level this fuse. Now, this is the flat part, this part you build on the bench. So you want to put something underneath here to level the fuselage. And then we're going to level it the other way. We're going to level the tube. We just use a line level, tape it on there. The tube that goes in the back is 22 inches, so we're trying to get an incident set, or actually we're trying to make sure that tube is level and it's also in a straight line parallel with this other tube. So we're going to tape that on, level it from the center out of this tube, from the center of this fuselage out. We're going to go 11 inches and just put a small mark on that tube with a marker is fine, something you can see well. Same thing over here, 11 inches out. That splits this 22 inches up. What we want to achieve here is get this thing set up before we glue it. Before we glue it, we want to set it up. So you'll see that this has a taper on it, this stabilizer support. And of course the flat part and the 90 degree go to the bottom and to the front. The taper is up here on the top. It starts at the front of this F6. Now on the L, I believe it is, you can it'll slide underneath here no problem. On this S, you want to notch it 1/4 of an inch in, and however far down you have to go to get it to fit under the lip of this this F6. So we want to fit this. We'll go ahead and you want to take this phenolic that you're going to have left over from your stabilizers, or we'll give you, actually I believe we'll put a piece in the kit. I'm going to wallow that hole out just slightly so that it's drilled like this, and we want to be able to slope it here when it has not been sized, so it fits very snug. You can't get much taper out of it, you need more than that. So we just sand on the front and the back a little bit with a round sanding block. And what we want to do, set this on here. Of course it goes down below, as you can well see. And slide this tube